This message is for you. God says, don't look away from this, don't try to skip this, because what I am about to speak into your life is burning, urgent, alive, and meant only for you. You have been waiting, you have been hurting, you have been watching silently as the world around you misunderstands you, but God says, today the veil is lifted. Today, I am exposing what others could not see. Today, I am declaring over you what no man can shut down. This message has your name written on it, and if you dare to ignore it, you will miss the very miracle that is standing at your door right now. God says, they have been speaking about you in rooms you have not entered, they have been whispering about your destiny, they have been questioning your survival, but what I am exposing today has left them speechless. You have been living under a cloud where people judged you, where people assumed they knew your story, but God says, no one truly knows the depth of your pain, no one knows the nights you cried alone, no one knows how close you came to giving up. Yet I saw it all, and I carried you even when you felt too weak to take another step. This message is for you because heaven is roaring over your name right now. The angels are standing in position, waiting for you to believe, waiting for you to open your heart, waiting for you to receive what is already prepared. God says, they tried to break you, they tried to trap you, they tried to turn people against you, but what they don't know is that I was secretly building you in silence. I was hiding you while they mocked you. I was covering you while they laughed at you. I was strengthening you when they thought you were at your weakest. That is why what I am revealing about you is shocking them. They thought you were finished, they thought you were gone, they thought you were buried, but they didn't realize you were only planted. Now is the season of your rising, now is the season where your silence becomes your strength, where your pain becomes your platform, and where your tears become your testimony. This message is for you. Don't close your eyes, don't walk away, don't ignore this word. I am telling you with urgency that the very thing that was sent to destroy you is what I am using to bless you. I am flipping the script, I am changing the outcome, I am rewriting the ending. God says, what I exposed about you has silenced the mouths of those who mocked you. They cannot believe how you are still standing. They cannot believe how you survived the storm, they cannot believe how you are walking into blessings after everything you lost. God says, they are speechless because they cannot stop what I have set in motion. You are not defined by their words, you are not limited by their labels, you are not bound by their opinions. You are chosen, you are marked, you are sealed, and this message is the proof that I have not abandoned you. Even now, I am lifting you, even now, I am surrounding you, even now, I am preparing the table before your enemies. Don't doubt it. Don't push this aside. Don't think this is just another message. This is the divine call over your life. God says, if you are reading this, it means your time has come. The waiting season is breaking, the delay is ending, the miracle is unfolding. I am exposing your name in places you never thought you'd enter. I am placing you before people who will open doors you never thought you'd walk through. I am giving you favor where you were once rejected. I am giving you victory where you were once defeated. I am giving you joy where you once carried grief. God says, they left you speechless with their betrayal, but I am leaving them speechless with your breakthrough. They left you in tears, but I am raising you in triumph. They tried to write the final chapter of your story, but only I hold the pen, and the next word I am writing is victory. Don't give up now. Don't walk away now. This is the hour you've been praying for. This is the sign you've been asking for. This is the miracle you thought would never come. And I tell you with fire in my voice, it's already done. This message is for you. God says, listen now, don't close the door, don't scroll past this like it's another story. I know the weight you carry, the impossible ledger of losses and betrayals you count in the dark. I know the quiet prayers you mouthed when hope felt like a rumor. I have heard every tear, I have traced every broken promise with my finger, and I say to you, the ledger is being rewritten. What they thought was your end is only the hinge to your beginning. What they used as a weapon against you is being fashioned into your scepter. God says, there will be restoration so precise it will feel like your life has been recopied in heaven, and then delivered back to you. Not a cheap imitation, not a consolation prize, but the real thing, the things you lost, the relationships you mourned, the opportunities that slipped through your fingers. I am restoring them, but better, wiser, cleaner. I will not simply return what was stolen, I will return it transformed, with wisdom wrapped around it and tender mercy sewn into it. You will recognize it, and you will also marvel, how could something so familiar feel so new? God says, do not be intimidated by the noise of the past. Those voices that shouted, finished, have no authority over what I declare. Their words were thin ropes tied to a rock. My word is an ocean that lifts you above it. You are not here because you deserved easy things. You are here because you carried a fire I needed to keep. You are not here because you were flawless. You are here because your cracks let light in, and now that light will flood rooms that once were sealed. God says, there are specific things I am doing for you even now. I am altering the course of your work so that doors will open without you having to beg. I am sending people who will speak favor over your name and not notice they are speaking destiny. I am arranging encounters that will change your next 5 years. Small moments you dismiss as coincidence, a smile in the market, a message typed and unsent by someone else, a call at the moment you need it most, are not accidents. They are my hand, tapped in rhythm with your heart, moving you into alignment with what I have prepared. God says, if bitterness has nested in you because of betrayal, hear me, release it. Forgiveness is not for them, forgiveness is the key I give you to unbind yourself. You are not saying their actions were right. You are saying you refuse to carry their sin as your anchor. Forgiveness will not erase the memory, but it will remove the sting that keeps you from rising. When you forgive, you are not letting them off the hook, you are stepping off of their hook. You are taking back your feet, and I will meet you there with healing. God says, to those who feel unseen, I see you. To those who feel unheard, your cry has not fallen into an empty sky. The angels have logged every petition and have been given marching orders. You will wake up to mornings where peace sits at your table like an invited guest. You will have nights where sleep is not a battle but a gift. You will taste joy that is not loud but deep, like water from a hidden well that has been waiting for your hand. God says, do not misread this season. Not every delay is denial. Some seasons are for forming, patience that teaches you wisdom, waiting that polishes your faith, restraint that prepares you to steward greater things. Do not sprint when I am asking you to listen. I am not taking your time away, I am timing your increase. Your impatience will not speed my plan, your faithfulness will position you to receive it gracefully. God says, expect confrontation, not because you are stubborn, but because light always stirs the dust. When you step into the favor I am placing on you, there will be those who resent it. They will try to instrument fear, comparison, and accusation. Do not answer with the same language. Let your response be integrity. Let your posture be grace. When they accuse, rise in silence and let results speak. When they attempt to sow discord, plant generosity instead. Watch what happens when you refuse to sink to their level. Their arrows lose aim when you're no longer their target. God says, speak the truth about who I made you to be. Your words carry weight. Stop rehearsing your failures and start rehearsing your calling. Say aloud the small things I have shown you in dreams, the visions that will not die, the whispers of your heart that refuse to be tamed. Proclaim them not from a place of arrogance but from a place of covenant. When you declare what's coming, you align yourself with the promise and you give the enemy less ground to stand upon. God says, I am also preparing your heart for love, not only romantic love, but the full spectrum, friendship that keeps, family that honors, community that builds. For those who have been lonely, companionship is incoming. For those who have been hurt, there is a gentle love that will teach your heart to trust again. But listen, I will not bring someone to fill a void I did not design them to fill. The one I send will be a companion for your wholeness, not a bandage for your brokenness. God says, walk into the coming days with courage. Courage is not the absence of fear, courage is the decision to move despite it. You will feel fear, it is human, but you will move anyway, because you are not moving alone. My presence is with you. My hand steadies your steps. When you are trembling, remember that trembling does not disqualify you from destiny. It humanizes you, and I will complete what I have begun. God says, be ready to receive in unexpected places. Grace sometimes appears disguised as a detour, as a strange conversation, as a job you thought beneath you that becomes your training ground. Keep your hands open and your eyes scanning. Do not shut your heart to unfamiliar opportunities simply because they don't look like your plan. My best often arrives in a package you did not design. God says, I will guard your reputation. When slander rises, truth will rise faster. When lies are planted, they will wither under light. I will pull back the curtains to show what was hidden. You will see vindication not as vengeance but as confirmation, proof that righteousness has a voice and that I speak on behalf of the silenced. God says, keep a journal of this season. Mark the small miracles and the subtle confirmations. When discouragement comes back as a thief in the night, open that book and remember. Memory is a weapon against despair. When you read what I have done, your faith will swell, and your breath will find rhythm again. God says, this is not a generic pep talk. This is a targeted, named, appointed, and burning message. I know the color of your child's hair, the exact way your father used to laugh, the scar you hide on your left hand. I know the prayer you whispered at midnight last week. This declaration is personal. It connects to your history and it redirects your future. Take it personally. Receive it as a covenant. God says, rise now. Rise not because circumstances forced you, but because promise called you. Rise with gratitude, not with entitlement. Rise with humility, not with pride. Rise with expectation, not with anxiety. I am doing something in your life that will make room for generations after you. Your obedience today is the foundation of tomorrow's blessing. God says, it is finished in me and beginning in you. Go, walk, breathe, love, forgive, declare, and prepare, because what I exposed about you has left them speechless, and the sound that follows will be the sound of your life being reborn. This message is for you. God says, hold this moment close, do not let it slip by like a whisper lost in wind. There are details coming now, precise and surgical, that will land inside the places you thought were dead. I am not speaking in riddles, I am speaking to the marrow. I see the tiny, private cracks where light can enter, and I am widening them with loving hands. There will be doors that open for reasons you cannot yet explain. Accept them without demanding immediate proof. My evidence often arrives as courage first, then confirmation. God says, do not fear the cost of obedience. Sometimes I will ask you to walk away from what is comfortable so I can move you toward what is faithful. There will be seasons where you must say no to people, to offers, to familiar patterns that look safe but are slow poisons. Saying no will not be a punishment, it will be a protection. Your refusal to trade integrity for ease will position you in the center of a blessing that does not require compromise. The world will call your restraint foolish, I call it prophetic wisdom. God says, expect refinement. You will be tested not to harm you but to hone you. Imagine a goldsmith at a furnace. The heat is real, but so is the purpose. The pressure you feel is shaping the weight and shine of your destiny. Resist the temptation to run when the refining begins. Stay. Answer my questions with prayerful quiet. Trust the process. Ask for patience, and I will give you the quiet courage to endure. God says, relationships will be rearranged. Some springs you depended on will dry up, and that is by design. New wells are being dug in unlikely places. Do not be surprised when a person you barely know turns out to be the very hand you needed. Reciprocity will come, but not always in the form you expect. Sometimes a mentor arrives as a stranger in a coffee shop. Sometimes a friend shows up bearing the exact word you needed. Sometimes reconciliation comes like rain after a drought. Keep your heart soft enough to be surprised, strong enough to steward what is given. God says, be mindful of the little choices. Redemption often begins with trivial acts: showing up, answering a call, finishing a task you wanted to abandon, forgiving the quiet offense, choosing generosity when you have nothing left to give. These micro-obediences are the scaffolding of miracles. Do them faithfully. Keep your promises to the small things and watch how I entrust you with larger things. God says, your gift will not be wasted. If you have doubted the value of your talent because you have yet to be applauded, stop measuring by applause. I measure by faithfulness. Continue to plant even when your garden seems empty. Continue to sing when the room is quiet. Continue to serve when reward is delayed. I see your hands. I see your tears. I see the whispered prayers. I am a God who multiplies the faithful seed into fields. God says, let gratitude be your battle posture. When fear tries to creep in, respond with thanks. When scarcity whispers that there is not enough, name what you do have and watch me bring increase. Gratitude rewires the heart to recognize provision. It opens doors where complaint locks them. It invites the unseen into your visible life. God says, do not be ashamed of the scars. They are a map of survival, and I will use them as a testimony for others. Your brokenness has prepared you to be a bridge for someone else's healing. When your story is shared, it will not be to glorify suffering but to glorify the one who brought you through it. Be ready to tell the truth about the night you almost quit, not as an excuse, but as evidence that hope can win. God says, speak in seasons. There will be times to wait, times to speak, times to act, and times to be still. Discernment will be given to you when you ask for it. Listen for the rhythm I place in your spirit. It will not be loud, but it will be steady. When you align your steps with that rhythm, confusion fades and clarity grows like dawn. God says, protect your inner life. Pray not only from need but from wonder. Build a quiet altar in your daily routine where you meet me unhurried. Feed your soul with truth, not with the world's frantic updates. Breathe. Let silence be a companion that trains you to hear my voice above the crowd. The secret place is where destiny is birthed. God says, be bold in generosity. Give away time, resources, compassion, even when it feels risky. When you risk your comfort for the good of another, you become an instrument through which I release favor. Generosity breaks the power of scarcity and invites abundance. It will surprise you how giving opens back into you like a river. God says, when accusations come, let my justice be your shield and my timing be your sword. Do not be hurried into defense by your pride. Let truth rise in the right season. In the meantime, maintain your peace. Your calm will confuse the noise and reveal the authenticity of your walk. People will notice the steadiness of your spirit, and that will be louder than your explanations. God says, watch for symbolic signs. Not every coincidence is prophetic, but some small repeating confirmations will arrive, a verse that keeps appearing, a phrase in a dream, a name that surfaces, a symbol that follows you. These are breadcrumb confirmations to help you stay confident when doubt whispers. Record them. Celebrate them. Let them anchor you. God says, I am also at work in your finances. The provision you need will not always come as a windfall, sometimes it will come as a steady repair. Expect both, miraculous supply and practical increase. Manage what you receive with wisdom. Be a faithful steward and not a careless spender. Responsibility before abundance is a principle that secures your future. God says, you will become a mouthpiece for others. Doors will open where you will be asked to speak, to bless, to lead. Accept these moments with humility. Use your influence to lift, not to lord. Remember where you came from. When you lead with empathy, you carry others forward rather than leaving them behind. God says, do not grow weary. Your progress may be invisible for a time, but growth is occurring underground. Roots are forming. Faith is being built. Character is being proven. Keep tending. Keep showing up. Keep trusting the quiet work. I will make your advancement noticeable in its own time, and when it comes, the astonishment will not be only in others' faces, it will be in your own, as you say, I did not know it would be this good. God says, now step into this day with bold expectation. Walk as one who has already been declared. Speak as one who has already been heard. Love as one who has been deeply loved. Your testimony is arriving. Let your life be a liturgy of gratitude and a loud answer to the prayers you once whispered. The world will be stunned, not because you earned it all, but because grace made a W. This message is for you. God says, breathe, and hear this. What I am speaking now will not be some distant promise you tuck away for later. It is immediate. It is weighty. It will land in the corners of your life that have been waiting for rescue. I will give you specific rhythms to keep, small practices that become the architecture of breakthrough. Do them with faith, not as superstition but as obedience. God says, begin each day by naming one thing I am doing for you. Not a wish. Name something you already see in seed form, a nudge, a door slightly ajar, a healed place, a conversation that took a different tone. Speak it aloud as a declaration. This is not vanity, it is alignment. Language births reality. When you habitually name the work I am doing, you sharpen your eyes to recognize evidence and you strengthen your voice to call it forward. God says, create boundaries that honor your calling. Some people will be needy in ways that drain you. Some situations will demand your dignity rather than your rescue. Learn to say no gently but firmly. Guard your time and your heart as the precious instruments they are. When you protect the margin of your life, I can expand the center. Boundaries are not selfish, they are prophetic. They free you to steward the gifts I give without being consumed by distractions. God says, daily surrender will be your anchor. Before you move into tasks, place your cares on my altar. Offer your anxieties, your plans, your fears. Let the posture of surrender remind you that you are co-laboring, not carrying alone. When you hand over the pieces you cannot fix, watch how I take them and weave them into a tapestry you could not have imagined. Surrender does not mean passivity, it means active trust, working with your hands while I move mountains. God says, prepare a small space for celebration. It may sound odd to schedule rejoicing, but celebration lubricates faith. Sing a song even when the harvest feels distant. Dance in your kitchen when a quiet favor arrives. Throw a mini party for tiny victories. When you celebrate the small things, you train your spirit to recognize abundance and you invite more of it. God says, cultivate holy curiosity. Ask questions of life and of people that reveal deeper needs and hidden opportunities. Curiosity opens doors that certainty slams. When you ask, why, and what if, with a prayerful spirit, you become pliable to fresh strategies. Do not be afraid to pivot when I show you a better way. Stubbornness kills growth, teachability births innovation. God says, write down the promises I speak to you. Keep a promise book. Each time you sense a word from me, ink it. Return to it on days when doubt knocks loudest. The written promise becomes a covenant you can hold in your hands. It will outlast foggy feelings and it will outshine the anxieties that call themselves facts. When the enemy whispers that nothing is happening, open your book and remember that I am faithful. God says, practice radical hospitality. Open your door, your table, your calendar to someone who needs more than they can give. When you make room for strangers, you make room for heaven to move in ways you cannot script. Hospitality is a portal. It releases favor that runs like a river through the networks of human kindness. Let generosity be contagious in your household. God says, refuse to rehearse the accusations of the past. Replay is a thief. Rehearsal of harm allows hurt to train your responses. Instead, rehearse grace. Practice statements that declare what is true about you. I am being shaped, I am being lifted, I will steward well. Speak them until your tongue learns their melody. Your mind will follow your mouth, your destiny will follow your mind. God says, when you encounter closed doors, assess rather than assault. Not every closed door is a personal affront. Some are protective redirects. If a path closes, ask me for the next step rather than trying to force an entry. My redirections are often blessings in clothing you did not choose. Trust my rerouting, and move with curiosity rather than frustration. God says, keep your covenants. If you have made vows to God, to a family member, to a business partner, honor them. Your integrity in small pledges becomes the currency of larger trusts. People and systems are watching how you keep what you promised in private. Steward your word. Let your yes be yes and your no be no. In a world of shifting promises, your reliability will make you a magnet for opportunities. God says, do not be surprised by swift mercies. I may show up suddenly in the middle of your ordinary day and overturn a situation that seemed immovable. Be alert to the small doorways, an unexpected call, an email, a hand extended in a parking lot. When mercy moves swiftly, do not question it, receive it with gratitude and make room for the accompanying responsibilities it brings. God says, be a student of your seasons. Learn the language of timing. Some seasons are for sowing, some for pruning, some for harvest. Resist the temptation to harvest too early or to sow without patience. Ask me for seasonal wisdom and listen to the rhythms I place inside you. Timing matters. Your obedience to seasons will protect your fruit from premature picking. God says, protect your dreams from cynicism. There will be laughter from those who have given up on theirs. Do not let their resignation rewrite your calling. Dreams are spiritual seeds. They require watering, not sabotage. Tend them with safe hands, share them with trustworthy companions, and shield them from critics who want to shrink what you were meant to become. God says, pray the daring prayers. Ask for restoration that seems bold. Request reconciliation that feels risky. Beg for favor that will embarrass the enemy. Do not limit your petitions to what looks reasonable, ask according to vision. My economy is not measured by human limits. Bold prayers stretch heaven's response. God says, expect a season of testimonies. Not only will your life be changed, but the lives around you will testify. People you did not imagine will stand and say how your courage became their encouragement, how your honesty unshackled them, how your kindness repaired their hope. Prepare to be used as an instrument of healing. When they speak your name in gratitude, let humility be your response. God says, keep seeking wisdom. Wisdom outlives talent. Read, learn, ask counsel, and invest in mentors who reflect the character you aim to become. Wisdom will help you discern the weeds from the wheat and will guard you against the seduction of easy but dangerous shortcuts. God says, I have not forgotten the small prayer you prayed under your breath the night you thought no one heard. I have folded that whisper into my book of remembrance, and I am answering it in ways that will reach into generations. Stand firm. Keep your lamp trimmed. Keep your hands clean and your heart open. The light you carry will guide many.